Hello, and welcome to today's recording of the C21 platform review. Today's session is going to be a very high-level overview of the C21 commercial platform, and hopefully very informative to you. My name is Randy Workman. I am the Senior Director of Commercial Operations for Century 21 and your facilitator for today's recording. If you're joining this recording today, you might be a Century 21 agent or broker that is just looking at the platform to see what it is we have. This is a very high-level overview of the platform, but it will give you a really good idea of the resources, tools, trainings, and programs we have for you. And if you're an independent broker or agent with another company and you're looking at Century 21 to join the ranks here, I welcome you as well. And I think today's session will be very, very informative. As we start today's recording, I always like to talk a little bit about we call C21 Commercial Network. It's a designation program that started back in 2011. I'll talk a little bit about that, when it started, where we are today. I do like to bring up companies right now selling commercial real estate at Century 21 and where we've grown in the last 11 plus years. And then I want to share a quick broker video. It's actually a broker owner, but one of our high producing commercial brokers. So I really like his video because it talks about some of the programs where it's not coming from a corporate entity, it's coming from someone using our systems and tools. And then we'll get into the commercial platform, just the resources, the learning, the education we have, the website. Be familiar with that. Being familiar with that is very helpful because we have a couple of lead generation programs that help you market yourself without even trying. So some really cool stuff there. And then we'll dive into the commercial collateral, the templates, the resources we have for the brand, as well as our business discount partner program, We won't have time to cover all of our business partners today. So I will just cover our key business partners, especially for you Century 21 agents that are looking to start out in commercial real estate. I cover a handful of partners that really can help you jumpstart yourself into that commercial space. So let's talk about the C21 Commercial Network Designation Program. When we started this program, we called it the Commercial Investment Network. That's before we really started getting a lot of traction and getting out into the masses and going to trade shows. And so we changed the name to just say who we are. We're just a commercial network, and that designation program has grown by leaps and bounds. When we started this program in 2011, we were really just starting to come out of that really hard distressed property era time when there was over 11 million homes underwater. Inventory was scarce unless it was distressed properties. Residential agents didn't really have a good avenue to continue to build their business and be sustainable. So this is one of those areas that we focused on for brokers and agents alike. And the goal was to create a group of like-minded professionals, ones that had the same resources, the same tools, the same branding to look very consistent, thereby helping them grow their business in the commercial real estate world. So here we are, fast forward to today, and it is January of 2023, and we are approaching 1,200 offices. That's very impressive when you consider other competitors to Century 21, whether they are a residential firm that have a commercial designation or a commercial division or something along that line. We have the largest footprint in the United States of commercial offices. Our, I guess, competitors that are on the pure real estate side, commercial real estate side, they only have 200 offices, 225 offices at the most. And so this is a very impressive network. Also, you Century 21 commercial agents, this is a great marketing tool. It's also great to use in your presentations because it really shows the power of what you can do. You've got a referral network that if a client wants to buy out of state or sell out of state or maybe across the country, you have the network that can help them do that. So that's a very, very impressive network and where we are today. And we look forward to keep on growing that commercial network. So this is kind of interesting, and I think this is important to share whether you are an agent listening to this recording or you are a broker. It speaks volumes to where we've come from that 2011 starting point for the commercial network. So 70%, what is that? 70% of our companies, not offices. We have a lot of offices. We have almost 1,200 offices. But our companies, 70% of our companies, which is about 640 companies, are selling commercial real estate today. They understand the message of diversifying into adding other real estate offerings to their business. And so that number continues to grow. So we're excited about that. 2 times faster. What is that? That is companies that sell commercial real estate. And those 70% of our companies that are selling real estate, they're growing 2 times faster as a group than those who do not have any commercial real estate in their business model. So powerful, very, very powerful. Let's listen to Ken, my buddy Ken, quick broker, just a video. It speaks volumes to what we do. I can talk all day long from a corporate side, but this is someone who is actually a franchise owner, someone who is selling commercial real estate, and someone who uses our tools. So take a listen to Ken, and then we'll continue.
I became a licensed realtor in 1998. In 2005, we joined the C21 system as a startup. This has been one of the best moves that we made. In fact, we just renewed our franchise agreement. The resources that C21 gives us commercially allows us to compete with any commercial player in the market. And if they're independent, we have not only all of the tools and systems that they don't have, but the name recognition as well. We're in 85 countries across the globe. The corporate team for C21 Commercial is constantly looking for products and vendors that will help us work smarter. We're getting more leads today than we ever have, which that's a powerful thing to even imagine. We got this early on, this pushback from people saying, yeah, C21 is a great real estate company, but they're residential, they're not commercial. Well, we've got 1,100 commercially designated offices across the country. That's bigger than any other brand I know. It's a great system, and we're thrilled to be associated with them.
Ken's company is in Saginaw, Michigan, and I can tell you that in the last 5 years or so, we have a top 21 producer award every year to recognize those top 21 companies, top 21 offices, and top 21 sales producers. And Ken has been in the top 21 for at least the last 5 years. I believe this year his company is ranked number 9 in the country out of 640 companies that are in the network. So that's a pretty powerful message. And Ken is not in a large market. You know, Saginaw is more of a secondary type market. So that speaks volumes to what he's doing with his commercial business. So let's talk learning and education. Obviously, this is where you really have to separate yourself from the residential world. Commercial is so much different than residential, as you'll all know. But the terminologies and the complexities of commercial alone make it very, very challenging if you don't have the learning and education. So we have always tried to have learning and education since 2011. But around 2016, we had almost approached 500 commercial offices. And we really saw a need for a curriculum, not just one-off topics like a time value of money or 1031 exchange or financial analysis. A lot of those courses were taught by CCIM instructors, and so we hired them. Well, in 2016, we saw the need to develop a curriculum. So I actually had some CCIM friends, professor of practice at Lehigh University, who were very, very steeped in commercial real estate, sat down with them, and the goal was to give them kind of insight on C21. Obviously, we're a residential brand, but where we want to go is we want to be recognized as a commercial leader in that space, especially because we have so many offices that we can have this amazing network that you just saw. So we created a curriculum called the Advanced Commercial Advisor. It comprises of 19 courses, 4 separate modules, which we'll take a high-level overview of that. And the goal here was not to charge for it. That was important because we want all of our system members to take the training so we can create that like-minded professional mindset, if you will. There's over 40 hours of curriculum. We do refresh these all the time. They are on demand, so they are plug and play. So it's just turning them on, listening to them. You can fast forward, rewind, pause. Great courses on C21 University. Here's a high-level overview of what those courses look like. You can see our introduction course is around 7.5 hours. There's a manual that's a little over 280 pages. We include that with the course. You can also buy that on Amazon.com for, I think, $14 or $15. Written by Lauren Keim, professor of practice at Lehigh University and the Goodman Real Estate Studies. Lauren is one of our consistent trainers that we use a lot of, and this course is jam-packed full of great content. Once you take the exam to that ACA 100 course, you will get a certificate of completion. And when you download or print out that certificate, it sets a trigger so that you can now join the advanced courses. The skill set module of the 101, the financial analysis module of 102, and then finally, transaction module of 103. So great training, lots of testimonials I get all the time, but just note this is on Century 21 University, very easy to access, and we do have onboarding guides for you Century 21 agents that are listening to the recording today in the same section where you found this recording. So go down and look for the new agent onboarding guide, and you'll be able to access the training. It's one of the first pages that you're going to see once you open up that guide. So let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about our web presence. You know, it's very important in commercial real estate to have not just a web presence, but to really have that look and feel of a commercial brand. We've done that. We started our first standalone website back in 2012, commercial.century21.com. That is our standalone website. And since that time, we have grown not just traffic and users, but also our lead generation as well. So today, this is what our landing page looks like. We're actually moving the top left-hand corner access to all the other websites because we do have quite a few, global being probably the most important for commercial because commercial listings are on the global website. But we're moving those towards the bottom just to maybe have a more commercial only look and feel. But that said, very powerful website. You can see all the different menus up there. You can look for properties, whether it be for sale, for lease properties. You can find a commercial specialist, which is the agents that are activated for the designation. And so once they're activated, they're found on the website as a commercial specialist. Our commercial C21 commercial offices can also be found there. Our services, and for you Century 21 agents, and even the independent agents, go to our services. You'll see we cover a lot of services. We do a lot of training on those services to our system members. To that point, we're having a negotiations workshop for 3 hours and evaluations workshop for 3 hours on March 3rd and March 6th of 2023. So we're always trying to get our system members in the know about different parts of commercial real estate. One that's really important, one area that's very important on this is our insights section. We have a great lead generation program there that I'll talk about here in just a minute. But the one thing, going back to properties, when you're searching properties on the commercial website, one thing we have done is we have added a feed to List Hub, List Hub pulls in commercial properties, commercial MLSs from all over the country. Some areas are more robust than others, but it's great to have those listing feeds there because it really does. It creates more web traffic. It helps with our search engine optimization. Plus, it also creates buyer leads. So what that looks like, a couple of screenshots on that is when you go to our website, and obviously this is just screenshots, but you know, the first 6 properties that come up with one property there in the very middle bottom is actually a Century 21 commercial listing, but the other ones are competitor listings. And so that's where we get that feed that comes into our website. So if I am looking at any one of these competitor listings, in this case, this is by an independent company, and All the pictures are there. All of the information is there as if it is one of our listings. We do have to recognize those companies. Yes, it's in small print, but by law, we have to do that. However, when someone scrolls down, if this were live, you can see the mapping, you can see the demographics, you can see everything that surrounds this property to make a little bit more of an intelligent decision on, hey, I think I'm interested in that property. If I am interested in that property and I want more information, when I go fill out that box, in this particular case, this buyer lead would go to Century 21 All-Stars Commercial in Pico Rivera, California. And it goes directly to the office. And so whoever they've set up to receive those leads in that office gets that buyer lead. So great resource, good lead gen program there. Our other one that we added actually just recently started in 2021. If you are familiar with Reese, it's a Moody Analytics company. What Reese does, and if you're Moody Analytics actually does a lot more than just commercial real estate. They're very into market insights, even population growth and things like that. But they specialize in forecasting insights and historical data that can really help someone as they're looking to buy or even sell commercial real estate to understand what the historical data is for that particular property type. And the way this works is, you see the map here is if you click on one of the states, it will pull up the markets that you can access. So in this case, we're looking at California. I decided to do a couple of screenshots for Los Angeles. So I pulled up the Los Angeles area, and whether it's the vacancy rates and the rent trends, we have 5, I call them food groups, but 5 property types that we cover: apartment, flex R&D, retail tenant, distribution warehouse, which is more industrial, and office. And you can see there's not a lot of information. It kind of gives the ebbs and flows of where commercial is headed in the last quarter. By the way, this is updated every quarter, so it's very relevant information for those who are looking at this data. If you were to scroll down to see the rent trends, you'll see the average asking price per square foot, the trend up or down. Again, there's only a couple of bullet points here. That is really by design to motivate that person looking at this to say, hey, this is great information, I want to know more. And that's where the contact a professional comes into play. I can tell you that from the end of 2020 to the end of 2021, we increased our leads from about 48,000 commercial leads on the website to almost 69,000. So a little over 20,000 leads more just within 1 year. And so we really looked at this as that lead site generator. Just to make note, we were adding 2 more lead gen programs in March of 2023. One is a request for negotiator or a professional negotiator. We're doing a lot of training on that for our commercial specialists, as well as we're having evaluation class of it's a 3-hour workshop to talk about the different valuation methods you should be using when someone requests a broker priced opinion or something along that line. So love our website. We continue to evolve. Our marketing team does a great job in continuing to look at those programs. To kind of dive into the Reese Market Insights that is on the website, we do provide access to our commercial specialists. And only our commercial specialists have access to this. And so you Century 21 agents, if you are not a commercial specialist, you will not be able to access this in the report hub. You'll have to talk to your broker. There's some steps you need to take. The training needs to be there as well. So when a commercial specialist goes to access, and we're going to use the same market, the Los Angeles, the California marketplaces. So you saw the original screenshot that we saw like 3 slides ago. That is the market data that's available to people looking at that map. Well, once a commercial specialist gains access to this report hub and goes to the Reese section, they double the different markets that they have access to. So in other words, they have access to many more markets than those who are just looking on the website. Part of that is it costs money to do that. So we have less markets on the website and more that we allow you to have because we think it's important that our commercial specialist has this in hand. Just a quick example, these are just marketing trend examples. I do not have any executive summary examples in here. The really cool thing about this program is in the report hub, when you click on the Reese tab, you'll go find the state that you want, you'll find the market you want, and then you can actually generate the report based on what you want. You might want a last quarter to net this quarter report, maybe a year over year report, a population trend, maybe it's just retail only. You do a 5-year migration to see where retail has gone in your market. So many fun things that you can do with this, but again, it's just creating the insights for your clients or potential clients. This is also a great program that we tell our agents, our commercial specialists anyway, look, get used to setting these up, whether it be a blog or social media, or you're posting it, maybe you're doing the email drip system. Send these out. These will really separate you from your competitors. Most competitors cannot afford this. They don't have it. And the larger pure commercial real estate companies may have an enterprise account, but usually an admin has that only on the back end because it's so expensive. So these reports, I could say if I was to click on this live right now, I could probably generate a report in 45 seconds because it does it automatically for you once I make the selections. So great stuff there. Another thing that we do for our listings, to market our listings, is we have a growing list of syndicated listing partners. We've got some more that are even coming on top of the ones you see on the far left, far right side there. The goal here is to enter the commercial listing one time and then have it feed to all of these marketing sites. Some have very powerful programs. Most of them offer us a discount. Like for instance, Crexy is the perfect example because they're the fastest growing commercial real estate syndicated partner, and they offer us a 35% discount. And then if you have a group, they even go beyond that. So really great programs we have with our syndicated listing partners, but the goal here, more eyeballs on your commercial listings. Another thing that we offer, which is a really great feature, is a website builder. So my C21 site for commercial is no cost to use. The only cost in that is you do need a URL, so you got to go find a domain name. But once you do that, you can go into the website builder and just follow the instructions. You can choose the templates to kind of make it your own. The beautiful part about this, besides being at no cost, other than the time to build it, is it does pull in that list hub feed so that if you are in your market, let's say you're fairly new and you only have 1 or 2 listings, or maybe you don't have any, you're just starting out. It helps your website look more robust. There's going to be more listings, commercial listings on there. And this is not anywhere close to being a residential website. There's no name of bed or bath or rooms. It's all commercial terminology. So we love the fact that we allow you to build this website, and it's fairly easy to do. Another great way to get your name out and also collaborate is we have an official C21 Commercial Network Workplace page. For those of you within Century 21, you know what this is. Those who are outside the system, it's driven by Facebook. It's a Facebook product, but it's workplace. It's all about work. Everyone has the ability at Century 21 to have their own workplace group if they want it. Most of our companies have their own workplace site, but we have the official corporate C21 Commercial Network site. And this is where we'll post, whether it be a live stream video, training video, and then it's recorded there, so it's housed there forever, or maybe a past recording that we'll post there for training. Might be a new program, a new business template, or a new business partner that we promote here. So we do a lot of that from the corporate side. But the other side of that is we encourage agents to post their listings and their business wants and needs. And this was the perfect screenshot that I pulled up. Jeff is a multifamily rep for one of his buyers out there in the market. And so he's just looking for that need anywhere in the United States, where Marguerite has a $200,000 listing for an auto body shop. And so we see a lot of interaction from our agents that are posting these up there. Hey, I need more information. and they start collaborating and also asking questions amongst themselves. So great place for a national platform to talk with all of your like-minded professionals within Century 21. Hey, we're going to switch gears again and talk about our customized templates that we have within Century 21. For those of you commercial agents outside the brand, you may not be familiar with MoxieWorks. I'll explain what that is in a minute in Brand Studio. Those of you that are within Century 21, you'll understand what MoxieWorks is. Really, that launched officially January of 2023, and all the old systems really sunsetted and are over. So when you look to brand yourself, there's lots of different branding. Some examples here are single property flyers. Those single property flyers, which are now in Moxie Engage, is what we call it. Moxie is basically a platform so that it makes it really easy to create a template that's already there. And maybe you've got a property. Let's say it's a 123 Main Street property, and I want to create a for sale flyer. Well, if I hit that little button, I click on it to say, I want to generate a flyer for that 123 Main Street property. It will pull all of the information, the property details, the pictures, your personal information and contact details into that flyer and create it for you very quickly. I like to say speed to market. It's nice to be able to have something that once you've used it once or twice, man, it's just like walking in a door. You just do it, it's done, and you can email it out electronically. You can print them out if you're going to have go to a trade show or you're going to drop flyers by, whatever. It's a really great program. We have lots of different sizes and shapes of postcards for listings to announce maybe new agents. The reason why we continue to use this is snail mail is still a thing. Commercial real estate investors, sometimes they are the silverhead club, we kind of call them, but they will look at the snail mail, where sometimes they won't look at the digital as much. So we have those there. We think that it's important to keep them there. You can either do them electronically and have an electronic postcard, or you can actually send them off to Express Docs, which is a printer we use for Century 21. One of the most powerful programs we have is the monthly commercial newsletter. This is considered a drip campaign. For those of you outside of Century 21, we do a lot of drip campaigns where we're staying in front of clients all the time. Well, for commercial, it's equally as important. So rather than talk about birthdays and holidays, we really focus in on business. And so we have a professional group that is tasked with writing relevant commercial articles each month. And the corporate team at Century 21 then reads those, and we choose the top 3 articles for the newsletter. The beautiful part of this is it goes out automatically the 5th of every month. So if you sign up for the newsletter and you upload your SOI, your sphere of influence, and you have all those email addresses in there, it will automatically go out to that list every month on the 5th. The other really cool part about this newsletter is it's also become a great way to add your new listings. Maybe you've got a couple of for sale flyers, the one-page flyers over there on the far left, maybe a lease or two, but you can actually put them in the body of the email there. So they're at the bottom, and you can customize the first line. Hey, thanks for reading my newsletter. Please make sure you check out my new property listings below. So this has become a really, really good system for our agents. I would dare say that this is widely used. It's a big deal for us to promote it. It's a great way to stay in front of your clients every month, whether they read it or not. They keep seeing your name, they keep seeing Century 21 Commercial, and realize you are in the commercial real estate business. We've got a slew of social media tiles, lots more than just the property tiles you see there. We launched that back in March of 2021. We did a lot of research for this, by the way. A lot of commercial practitioners in today's world are not very digital savvy, I would call it. And only about 11% back then in 2021 said we use social media for my commercial business. That's an opportunity. So we've got lots of brand awareness tiles, relevant market news information tiles. They're all customizable, so you can post them on your own social media. If you've got blogs or you want to put them on your website, you can do that as well. And the key we always tell our agents and brokers too is if you're going to do social media, be consistent. If it's once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, be very consistent. and don't let that go, because it's a great way to create your brand presence. It's also a great way to get the word out about C21 Commercial and your name as well. So good stuff there. Our DBA logo creator is in Brand Studio for you Century 21 agents. Brand Studio has not gone away. Brand Studio does a really good job of creating DBA logo names. Century 21 results, Century 21 select group. Then you also see the marketing elements, the C21 commercial. We love that because the name commercial sticks out. So we use that in a lot of our marketing collateral. And you'll see a program that we adopted a few years ago in a minute, and it's really heavily weighted towards that C21 commercial logo. We also have a nice listing presentation or a marketing presentation. Listing presentations may be more residential. I call it an OM, offering memorandum presentation. But this is nice because it has around 30 pages. It allows you to go in. They're already done for you. And again, this is tied to your properties. So if you've got a property listing and you want to create a offering memorandum, you can. Or if you want to just create a listing presentation to try to win the business, you can do that as well. We've got enough pages in there that you can select the ones that are important to you and put those in your presentation. In a little bit later, I'm going to talk about one of our flagship partners that has really helped us grow tremendously within the brand. You can also use this listing presentation and pages here to add to that, but I'll talk more about that and the successes we've seen there, some fun stuff. I'd like to talk about, there's one program that we adopted, and before I show you what that looks like, I wanted to talk about how this whole program came to fruition. Back in January of 2018, one of our companies in Indiana said, hey, I want to hire a commercial person. I talked to Tommy Karitzis a couple of times in 2017. He decided to make the jump and join Century 21. So January of 2018, he joined Century 21, not just to sell commercial real estate. He was really tasked to grow that commercial division. And what they did at that time was they let him run the commercial, and all the residential agents basically no more selling commercial real estate unless they talked to Tommy and understood what he wanted them to do under his guidance. Well, so he joined in 2018, January 2018. So I'm going to give you some numbers here that are pretty impressive. At the end of 2017, we do these production awards or recognition awards. That office had 4 agents selling a transaction or 2. At that time, we'd had around 600 offices. So 113th was respectable for not really having a commercial director. And their company was ranked 135th in the country. And the reason I did that is because when I called Tommy in December of 2020, the very end of December, to congratulate him on his climb to #1 as an office and #6 as a company, that's when I asked him, Tommy, what are you drinking in the water out there? And he said, Randy, in the third quarter of 2018, I started this referral mining postcard. And he explained it to me. And basically, he said, I first started to promote it to the residential agents within the brokerage and letting them know that, hey, if you'll help me grow the name, my name, our division, if you get a referral and you give it to me and we actually go take that referral, get the listing and close, you will make a 25% referral fee. He said the first year, it was referral fee light, but we made a few other changes. We decided to write a big publisher's clearinghouse. It was like a dry erase check, where it looked like a company check, but they would write the agent's name and the amount that they got in the referral, and they would post it on their workplace site. Well, it took off. So in 2020, when I talked to Tommy and congratulated him on his #1 ranking, and he explained the program as I just have explained it to you, he said, Randy, 30% of our closings came from that program. And we really saw it take off in 2020. And so we took Tommy's idea and we have it on 21 online. You can customize these with pictures that are in your market. You can customize them with the property types that you deliver. You can put up 12 different property specialties in there. And then agents, whether you're a commercial agent or a residential agent, you can customize these cards. But the caveat really was the residential agents, right? They would go into a listing presentation at the end or on the way out the door. It was, hey, thank you for today. I'm I'm really looking forward to getting your house listed. And oh, hey, by the way, if you have anybody you know, friends, neighbors, relatives that are buying or selling commercial real estate, let me know. And you would hand them the card, and I'll get you in touch with that department. So that's a very powerful program for you Century 21 agents to talk to your brokers about. You independent agents that are looking at this today for the first time, that is really where this type of a format can really help you grow. I've got lots of stories, and I've got lots of validators like a Tommy Karitzis, who were in the business for 20 years, came over to the brand and loves it because he's getting so many referrals and they are so busy. And by the way, they are the #1 company in 2022. So, number 6 in 2020, #1 in 2022, and they are not that big. We've got companies that are a lot bigger than them, but they just happen to focus on commercial real estate. So good stuff. I love that story. So let's finish up and talk about our business partners and our discount programs. We're always looking to vet key business partners. And the way we do that is not, hey, who's the cheapest or who's the most willing to give us a discount? It's what product do they have, and does it make sense for our brand? Are we going to buy a CoStar package and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and give it to our system members? No, that's not who we are. We still are kind of that commercial company. We still have agents that are in small markets that are selling commercial real estate and residential real estate. But then you've got agents like you've got a broker like Ken Quiaba that you saw there at the beginning of today's recording, where he loves the commercial platform. He was number 9 in 2022 as far as rankings against 3,300 commercial practitioners. So these business partners are great. We will not talk about all of these because there's a lot of them. Most of these have a discount program associated with a premium program or a program they have. Obviously, the Reese program we talked about, and that is at no cost. ComStack, it's at no cost. Great business partner. So Immobel, great business partner, no cost to you guys. All the way from 50% for the Analyst Pro and 35% for Crexi and so on and so forth. They all have something different to offer to our system members. So I want to talk about just a handful of business partners that I really look at if I'm starting in commercial real estate, and if you Century 21 agents are looking to start in commercial real estate, what systems and tools would you use? And by the way, we do have a new agent roadmap to success recording where there's a little deeper dive on 5 different steps that you can take. And we take a little deeper dive on our business partners there too, because we want you to choose the right ones that are going to work for your business. So let's talk about the Analyst Pro. We consider the Analyst Pro a flagship partner. You can see the discount that we offer. Basically, every time someone purchases the Analyst Pro, we subsidize it for $300. We've locked in that rate until March 1st of 2025. If you are a CCIM, if you independent commercial pros are on this recording today, the CCIM Institute offers this program for 20% off. We offer it at 50% off. And there's a reason behind that. One, the team at the Analyst Pro and the founder of the Analyst Pro and CRE Tech, I've developed a great relationship with him and their company. And I've helped them in some areas in some enhancements that I've suggested, and they've taken them and they have done them, not for us, but just made those enhancements. There's about 20 different tools at the Analyst Pro. Some of the more powerful ones you see there, the OM package creator, the investment calculator that's right at your fingertips. You have about 6 calculators that are right there that are geared towards commercial versus using a spreadsheet. You can set up a property tour so that an investor or a buyer can go out to a property and they'll score it. They'll give you a scorecard, and that scorecard comes back to you. You identify the top 1 or 2 properties. Based on that scorecard, you can do an Analyst Pro report, and it's very, very impressive. Lots of really cool mapping and measurement tools in there as well. And then diving into the newest one, which is an API feed. So if you are an Analyst Pro licensee. In other words, if you purchase that annual license for $299 a year, you will now be able to take the listings you have in Dash. And for you independent agents, Dash is our Century 21 database where we input all of our listings. And if you have a listing in Dash and you have an Analyst Pro subscription, you can now pull up all of your active listings and it's automatic. You click on the very first one there, create. It will pull all of the property details, all of the property pictures, and everything pertaining to that property over into your report. Then at that point, all you need to do is check radio buttons. You might say, hey, I want a financial analysis for this one, or I want a demographic analysis, or I want a traffic count map. I might want a location risk. Maybe it's I've got a property and I want to show it's not in a flood zone. So I'm going to show a flood zone. It's not in a high crime area. You can add those things to it. So as an example to some of the things the Analyst Pro can do is I pulled up some areas that I created this from an account in about 3 minutes. So everything you're going to see here, I created in 3 minutes. So first off, I did a PDF, which is a printout, right? I was gonna bind it. So I said, hey, I want to bind it. This ended up being 40 pages. I don't have enough room on this slide to show them all. But when I created that and pulled over that API feed, all I was doing was checking off what I wanted. I want the mapping. I want a street view. I want a demographic analysis. I want an infographic analysis. I want a tapestry map. The tapestry map is kind of like the life mode or life age of a community for you, those of you that don't know. A traffic count map, that's important, especially for commerce or retailers. They want to know how many cars are driving by this property every day. Lots of different location risks, flood maps, crime reports, environmental risks, some really cool stuff. All this is automatically pulled in when you click on a radio button, I call it, or just a little check mark in a box. If you say, I want a traffic count map, it takes the address of the property and you decide what you want as far as, is it within a drive time or is it within a 1 mile radius? And once you do that, it will generate the report automatically. So it's almost like one or two steps, and it will obviously get that report really quickly. It is driven by Esri. Those of you that don't know, Esri is the world's largest demographer. So, traffic counts are a big deal with them. All the demographics are a big deal with them. Most people use them. Even CoreLogic uses them too. The beautiful part about this PDF creator is I can also add my own PDFs in there as well. If I've got a plat map, or I've got maybe a floor plan, or in this case, I've got 3 pages there from my C21 listing presentation, and I put those in there. So I created this 40-page document, and the other new enhancement they just had added not long ago was you can now promote your team within the Analyst Pro. So if you have a team, you can actually have that team on this offering memorandum. So that's very powerful, because if you have a team, it's hard to promote it if it's just one person using it. It allows you to add your team members on there as well. So including to the 3 minutes that I did this, I also said, hey, you know what? I want to have a flip book, a website, and an OM flyer. With the OM flyer, I chose the template, and that was it. I clicked one button. On the digital flip book, I just said, I want a digital flip book. It's those cool electronic books that you can send to someone. It looks very techy, very, very tech savvy. And then the marketing website, there was 3 choices. I chose the one I liked, and boom, I'm done. So within 3 minutes, I created all of that. And that's part of the reason why we love the Analyst Pro, because it helps you be so productive and think about being able to, get a listing by going in and making a presentation that has these types of this type of information. I have a lot of agents that tell me all the time, I got a listing overnight with this. They just, they saw it, they were impressed, they said, okay, no problem, and they got the listing. So we love the Analyst Pro, one of the best partners we've had in a long time, and long-term partner probably to come. Another one we have is we have some support for ICSC. And what this is, Innovating Commerce Serving Communities, is we've been involved with retailer tenant organizations since 2012. And every state in the United States has a deal-making chapter. So that's why we joined the ICSC. That's why we started going to their main show, which is the third week of May every year in Las Vegas. But all the states in the country have some form of a deal-making chapter. So you can get to know the retailers in your market, who's growing into your market, and you can help them if they are coming into your market. Lots of other benefits there, like you can have access to all their members. One thing that we provide for you at Century 21 is a report. And this was strictly, honestly, made for the ICSC show. So if someone was attending here and they were bringing properties, they could identify those organizations before they even got to the show. Well, we have now used this and just have it readily available on 21 Online for you Century 21ers out there, where you can go in, you can download this report. It's about 18 megabytes. And if you know megabytes in a spreadsheet, it's huge. But it's cool because, as you see there, it's tabbed from 500 square feet to 300,000 and everything in between. It's meant so that you can quickly identify an area or a footprint of a listing. Maybe you just took in a listing, or you just barely got a brand new, you're getting a brand new listing. You can go in here and start, seeing who has that footprint and start reaching out to them. So it's a great proactive way to prospect for clients. Normally I talk about Correctseed because they're the fastest growing marketing company in the world. Plus they also have great AI. But I talk about CompStack. I talk about RPR because RPR is a very powerful platform for commercial. Access to over 53 million properties, opportunity zones, professional reports. They have demographics. They have traffic count maps. They have lots of cool things. But for the sake of time, I wanted to keep it kind of short. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly, to the commercial department anyway. You see my mobile phone there. You can text me. Please, let me know who you are. If you're texting, sometimes texting it takes a little longer for me to get back to you. So email is probably better. But I want to be able to talk to you, especially if you're independent and you want to learn more. Feel free to call me at any time, and I'd be glad to talk to you. Well, that concludes today's recording. I want to thank each of you for listening. For those Century 21 agents, I would encourage you to take the ACA training. I would also encourage you to go into the C21 Commercial onboarding recording. It's about 55 minutes, I believe. And that's well worth it because I take a deeper dive in there where I don't have the time here today to do that. And then also the agent roadmap recording as well. So lots of resources behind those recordings in that same section on 21 Online. So hopefully you'll go do that. And for you independent agents, I look forward to maybe having you as a business partner soon. Take care and good luck to everyone.